for the family sports meeting in a week. Silver Dragon Queen and I are starting training now. We first started with a run as a warm-up, and the Silver Dragon Queen also introduced me to related projects. She offered me a week off as a condition to motivate me. Next, we use a small game as a practice for tacit understanding. The training didn't go smoothly from the beginning, and the Silver Dragon Queen was not satisfied that I couldn't keep up with her speed. However, we are still slowly adapting to each other's pace. The current time is in the morning. The weather today is also very good. Leon got up early and changed into clothes that were convenient for exercise, and arrived at the training ground. He is currently doing warm-up exercises. He bent his right leg and gently pressed it down, slowly straightening his left leg backwards. He easily stretched his body. He came here so early with only one purpose. They conduct special training in advance for the family sports meeting a week later. At this moment, Leon lifted his head and saw a familiar figure walking towards him. Roswitha, like Leon, got up early and came here. She also changed into a lightweight sportswear and tied a neat high ponytail. She walked with a happy mood, raising her hands above her head and stretching upwards. Due to the stretching movement, her slender figure was revealed at this moment. Leon was a little surprised by Roswitha's figure. He warmed up while staring blankly ahead. He silently said in his heart, "She really has a model's figure. She looks good in anything she wears." After stretching her body, Roswitha walked up to Leon and said to him, "The children haven't even woken up yet. Let's run 2 laps first to warm up." Leon was actually looking to get some exercise himself. He stood up and agreed to Roswitha's suggestion. "Okay, no problem." Then, Leon and Roswitha went for a slow jog around the training ground together. Since Leon has never participated in the Dragon Clan's sports meet, he is not sure what events will be included in their sports meet. He looked at Roswitha and asked her as he ran, "What events are included in Dragon Clan Academy's sports meet?" Roswitha looked ahead and answered, "When I participated in it back then, there were endurance triathlon, running, high jump, long jump, and so on." Upon hearing that these events were all quite ordinary, Leon chuckled softly. These events are not a big problem for him. He showed a smug expression and said lightly to Roswitha, "That's not much different from our sports meet either." Roswitha is displeased that Leon is making light of their sports events. She frowned slightly and turned her head to look at Leon, saying to him, "Don't take it lightly. Our dragon sports meet is not as simple as you think." Leon confidently patted his chest. For a well-trained dragon slayer, achieving first place in these projects is simply a piece of cake. He smiled and said to Roswitha, "Ha! Our dragon slayers are not as simple as you think, too." Seeing Leon so confident, Roswitha chuckled softly. Then, she quickened her running speed and left Leon behind. Leon noticed that Roswitha suddenly ran ahead of him and felt a little dissatisfied. Roswitha said as she ran, "Oh, just the other day, someone collapsed on the ground after only a few laps and couldn't even get back up." Roswitha remembered a few days ago. After Leon finished running, he was lying on the ground and panting heavily. She couldn't help but laugh at him. Because of Roswitha's words, Leon's face immediately turned red. He felt a bit angry about the game a few days ago. Leon ran behind Roswitha while angrily raising his hand to protest against her. "That's because you forced me to stay up all night doing homework." If it weren't for Roswitha forcing him to stay up all night doing homework, he might have been able to unleash his true strength and easily defeat Roswitha. Roswitha gave a wicked smile and glanced back. She found Leon's reaction very interesting. At this moment, Roswitha suddenly had an idea. She turned around and placed her hands on her waist, started running in reverse. She asked Leon with a smile as she ran, "How about I give you some more motivation?" Leon looked up at her and listened carefully to her words. Roswitha raised her index finger. She proposed a condition to Leon. "If our family can win first place in this family sports meeting, I will give you a week's leave." Upon hearing Roswitha's words, Leon's eyes lit up instantly. He feels very happy to have a week of free time and not be disturbed by Roswitha. He clenched his fists and asked her with excitement, "Really?" Roswitha calmly answered Leon, "Yes." She closed her eyes and nodded, indicating that what she said was absolutely true, and there was no suspicion of forgery. Leon immediately felt his body filled with energy. There seems to be a raging flame behind him, representing his strong will. For his free time, he must train hard. He clenched his fists, looked ahead with a determined gaze, and said with high spirits, "All right, the champion of the school sports meet must be from our family." "Ah!" Leon shouted loudly, and then rushed forward at his fastest speed for a long distance. Due to Leon's fast running speed, a lot of sand was lifted up from the training ground. Before Roswitha could react, she saw Leon disappear from her sight like a gust of wind. She was so shocked by Leon's mobility that she stopped running. She stood there in a daze, watching the sand and dust drifting past her eyes. Roswitha smiled and turned her head to look towards Leon's running direction. She only said one condition to him, and his emotions became so high. Seeing him so full of fighting spirit, she silently said in her heart, "This strategy really has a stimulating effect." After a while, the warm-up time is over. Leon walked to the bench next to the training ground and sat down to rest for a while. He lowered his head and breathed slightly, feeling the fresh air entering his body. At this moment, Roswitha, who had finished running, walked over calmly and said to Leon, "All your joints and muscles have awakened, right?" Although Leon looks a bit tired and hasn't had time to wipe off the sweat on his face, he is very energetic now. He stood up in an instant, clenched his fists, and excitedly said to Roswitha, "My body has not just awakened. It is now as spirited as eating black dragon bolus." Roswitha is very satisfied with Leon's mental state. Then, she walked over to a bag placed near the bench and took out a rope from inside. "Okay, this sports meet will be held on a family basis. so there may be changes to the events as well. We not only need to practice basic physical fitness projects, but also cultivate tacit understanding. Roswitha lowered her head and gently straightened the rope on her hand. She decided to use this rope to help them in the upcoming training. Seeing that the thing Roswitha took out was a rope, Leon felt a bit uneasy. He felt uncomfortable all over when he thought about how she had tortured him with homework the night before the competition with her. He was worried that she was holding a rope and trying to do something bad to him. He crossed his hands in front of his chest and made a refusal gesture. He frowned and said to her discontentedly, "What are you doing with the rope? You haven't played enough teacher game. Do you still want to play bundled games now?"
Hi! Pineapple has a good news to tell you. My app Lullaby can now be downloaded on the App Store and Google Play. You can search for Lullaby Light Novel in the search bar to find the app. After downloading the app, you can read our exclusive novels and comics more easily on your mobile phone. If you are interested, you can download Lullaby from the App Store and Google Play.